Hello everybody, welcome back. So, as you may know, in February I started a garden challenge of 10 square feet. You need to grow 10 crops and the challenge is for 10 months. And the sun's out, the soil's warmed up, so I thought today would be the day I'm going to start the challenge. Now, as the challenge says, we're only allowed to grow 50% of the area as root crops at any one time. So I'm going to put some potatoes in half of the bed. They'll be the first potatoes I've planted so far this year. And on the subject of potatoes, on Sunday we're having a live potato special. So please come along and join in for that. There is a link on the channel for it. I am going to be using some new software though, so if for some reason that link doesn't work, have a quick look on YouTube. There will be another link. I'm still getting the hang of the software, so apologies if the original link doesn't work. I think it will, but I'm not 100% certain. We'll find out. And then in the other 50% of the bed, this side of the string, I'm going to plant 4 other crops. Sow them. Everything has to be sown direct. You can't grow things in pots and then plant them. And I'll move the camera and show you what I'm going to do. So I've been and got my Lady Crystal, which were a first early, out of the shed, and they've been chitted away, as you can see. And I'm going to put 4 potatoes in this area. And this is 5 square feet, this area here. So I'm probably going to put 1 in the corner there, 1 there. And I'm going to just sort of do a dice pattern. That way, hopefully, I'll get 4 in and not 3 if I just planted them in a row. Because that's only 3 feet. So, I'm going to go with that. And what I am going to do is I'm going to leave about 3 chits on each potato. So I've got 1, 2, 3 on there. Any others, I'm going to remove and dig out. So that's fine, that one. That's got 3 as well. That's got 3. And that's only got 2. There's another one coming just there. If they had more than 3, I would dig them out so that they couldn't then grow into additional shoots, because the more shoots you have on a potato, the smaller your potatoes are going to be. And these are a first early, so these are like your new potatoes, and therefore we want things that are that sort of size, really. So let's get them planted. So, as is pretty much standard practice with potatoes, we're going to bury them 4 inches deep, and this has got garden soil, my homemade compost, and then a bit of shop bought compost on the top. And I only built this bed recently, so I'm actually now down to the turf that's underneath, so go a little bit deeper. There we go. And I'm just going to backfill that. You plant them with the chits facing upwards, and that's that. There's the first potato of the year planted. Go over this one. And obviously the challenge is about weight, so that's why I'm growing. Oh, it's plastic, where's that come from? That's why I'm growing potatoes as my first root crop of the challenge, because obviously potatoes generally give you a good weight of harvest per square foot. And the challenge is all about how much food can you grow in 10 square feet in 10 months. And obviously 10 crops is a bit of fun. See, can you grow 10 different crops in that space and in that time? And I'll do this one last. Pretty windy today. Hopefully this little wind muff on the mic is doing a good job and stopping that wind on the microphone. And there we go. There's my first potatoes of the year planted. Right, we'll get some seeds now and put some stuff in the other side. So the heavens have just opened and I've retired to the shed for a little while. I don't think it's going to last very long. I think 10-20 minutes and we'll be able to get back out there. But that gives me the chance to tell you a bit about the rules. So this challenge, the Rule of 10 Garden Challenge, came about because I was talking to somebody and they said they wished they could grow some vegetables in their garden, but they've only got a really small garden. And I said, well, you can do quite a lot in a small area with a little bit of thinking, a little bit of planning, and that's how it came about. I thought I'd put it out there to the YouTube gardening community if they want to take it up, and I think there's quite a few of my subscribers doing it and other YouTube gardeners as well. And it's just a bit of fun, really. It doesn't have to be a square bed, it could be a 1 foot by 10 foot bed if that's what you can do, or do it in pots. Just work out the area of the pots, 10 square feet. So the rules are everything has to be sown direct, so there's no bringing things on in pots in the greenhouse or the polytunnel. Everything's got to be sown direct. That's right, the shed door's just closed in the wind. And then only half the area can be used for root crops at any one time, and that's just to get a bit of diversity in the crop. Otherwise people will just fill it full of potatoes and that'll be that. You got to grow 10 different crops minimum, so if you can grow 12, brilliant. That's the shed door again. And it's over 10 months, so the official start date was the 1st of March. I've only just started because the soil's just been too cold until recently, the last few days. And you can only weigh the conventional parts of the plant. So if you took a broccoli, for example, you'd weigh the head as part of your harvest, not the leaves, because is the conventional part of the plant. That's what we're counting. And no polythene and no glass, so it needs to be outdoors, not in your polytunnel or your greenhouse. But you can use fleece and mesh, because that's really to level it up a bit for people that don't have a polytunnel or a greenhouse. It's just about making it as fair as we can make it, and it's just a bit of fun. There's no prize, it's just taking part and seeing what you can achieve in 10 square feet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is sow 4 more crops in this bed, and I've thought about the direction of the sun, because this way is south, that way is north, so I'm putting the potatoes at the back because they're probably going to grow the highest, and I don't want them to shade the smaller plants at the front of the bed. So what I'm going to do first of all is level this out a little bit, and then along here I'm going to plant some mangetout peas, because they can grow up some netting or something that I'll put in later in this area, and they're not going to shade anything, and they'll get the benefit of the sun in the afternoon, lunchtime onwards, from a southwest position. So we'll get those put in. The reason I'm going to grow mangetout is it saves all the shelling of the peas, and I'm thinking it might provide a little bit more in the way of weight. So just going to make a trench about an inch deep, and just drop those in, and I'm going to put them about an inch apart. This is some intensive gardening going on here. Now I'm not going to put the trellis or the netting up until things have started to show, because I want this kept as low as I can keep it for now, because I'm probably going to have to come out and put some fleece over it to protect them from the frost. So that's the peas in. Then what I'm going to put in is a row this way, just a very shallow one, and in there I'm going to put leeks. So these are Musselburgh leeks, and the seed is quite old, so I'm going to over sow this row and just accept that I might have to do quite a lot of thinning out. And there's some companion planting going on here as well, in that leeks and potatoes will grow well together, as will the next crop that I sow. So that's those. And companion planting means you're planting crops next to each other that actually like to grow together. There are certain crops that don't like growing next to each other, so before you plant up your 10 square feet, do a little bit of research on that. And then I'm going to put another row here, and this is going to be spring onion. Now, onions aren't classed as a root crop. An onion is a truncated part of the stem, so it isn't a root crop. again, I'm probably going to sow everything that's in here. It's not a full packet. It's so nice to be sowing seeds. Because these seeds are quite old, I'm going to over sow again. There we go. And then finally, I'm going to put a row of mixed salad leaves. Now I'm not going to do these very deep at all, maybe half an inch. And the beauty of mixed salad leaves is you can just keep taking the outer leaves and the plant will keep growing. And what I'm going to try and do with these is put a few seeds every sort of 3 inches, and then I'll thin them out a little bit and to say 6 inches and leave them to grow on. And obviously I'll be weighing the thinnings as well. Absolutely everything's going to get weighed out of this bed. It's an interesting challenge. How much can you grow in 10 square feet? So that's the salad, and that's a spring onion. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crops sown to begin with. Potato, mangetout peas, leeks, spring onion and mixed salad. No need to water this ground, it's soaking wet already. So I'm just going to cover those over. Hope nothing comes along and digs them up. So there we have it, 5 crops sown, and this soil really does feel quite warm actually, so I'm hoping for good things here. Like I said though, I'm going to keep my eye on the weather and come out and cover it with some fleece if need be. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's inspired you to start your rule of 10 garden challenge. 10 square feet in whatever shape you want it to be. 10 different crops, 10 months, and only 50% of the area as root crops at any one time. Let me know how you're getting on. Comment below, and if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Cheers guys.